Hi everyone, it's Tommy. This is Moonstone Makes. Thank you for being here. I'm making another video. I've been doing a lot of making, so I had enough to do another video really soon. And so here we are. I'll talk about some crochet, some finished objects, some knitting, and then some favorite-y things at the end, old school style. Today is a really beautiful, sunny, warm Wednesday here on the Northern California coast where I'm coming to you from. So we might experience some interruptions this video. My almost 3-year-old son is in his room doing quiet time, but he's not that good at staying in his room for quiet time, so, you know. I usually try to record when no one is home, but that's not happening today. So let me get straight into it to try to make this happen. The first thing I've been working on is a pair of socks. It's the same pair of socks that you've seen in the last couple videos, and it is my Dune socks. This is Moonstone Dyeworks, which is my hand-dyed yarn. And this is the Dunes colorway, and it's on my sock base. It's probably the merino nylon. I forgot because I've been working on these for so long. I do a top down 2x2 ribbing for the cuff. For these I cast on 64 stitches, and then I decrease 1 stitch on each side here and then again here so that the top of the leg is bigger than the rest of the sock. I did a slip stitch heel flap and gusset for the heel. And then the foot is 60 stitches, right? 60, 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, 60 stitches. And then my toe is a wedge toe or whatever normal, regular old toe that I do. The second sock is just past the heel. I think I just did my last decrease, so now I'm going to start on the foot. And I'm using my size 1, yeah, 2.25 millimeter ChiaoGoo mini twist interchangeable needles, which I really like for socks, magic loop. And that's the second one. Here's the cake of yarn. That's the ugly side. Here's the pretty side. And it's just like a sandy golden kind of color named after the sand dunes at the beaches around my house because I live on the coast because I'm lucky. So that's these socks. They've been fine. I'm really looking forward to wearing them because I really wanted socks in this color, but I'm also really looking forward to casting on another pair of socks in a crazier color or like maybe even a self-striping yarn or something that's a little more fun to work on because I find that it definitely does affect the fun sock knitting experience when your colors are just boring neutral tonals. So I'm looking forward to doing another sock that is a little more fun than this one. I just realized that a bunch of people are doing yard work outside. You've probably been able to hear that this whole time. Cool. I'm gonna go close the door. Oh, I should have started with my finished object because I have a finished object. Let's do that. So here's my finished object. I finished my scrappy crochet sweater. This is a crochet, I'm gonna put it on. It's a crochet tutorial video that I followed by It's Erin B. I'll link the video down below. And there's no written pattern, it's just the tutorial. And it worked out really great. So here it is. So here's the sweater. It's perfect. I love how it came out. I like the sleeves. Yeah, okay, so let me tell you about it. I chained, it's a raglan, it's top-down raglan. I chained on the top edge according to how she said to do it in the video. I didn't write it down, but I chained, I think, as many stitches as she did with the addition of a couple, I think, because she made her sweater in a worsted weight yarn, and my scraps are mostly either DK or 2 yarns held double, like a fingering and a lace, or 2 fingerings. It's all DK-ish, so I think that's more of the gauge I got, was a DK gauge. So I cast on a couple more chain stitches than she did, and it worked out. And so the top edge here is just the raw edge of the chains, and then it's all just triple crochets. And to do the raglan increases, you just do an extra triple crochet here, 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 and here, until you just try it on and see where you want your underarm to like be. And then you separate for the sleeves, do the body. Yes, River? You made a burrito? No, you're still doing quiet time, bud. That's really nice. That's a really nice burrito. So I want you to take it back to your room and close the door.
I'll leave it here.
Okay, you can leave it here. I'll munch on it while you're finishing quiet time, okay? Okay, so yeah, I mean, it's the same concept as a top-down knitted raglan, except it kind of goes quicker and it's easier to just try it as you go and rip back mistakes and redo things, which I did a little bit in making this thing. So I think like the whole idea of winging it and doing it without a pattern and without stitch counts and just like however many stitches it takes to get you to this size, I think it's a little easier to do that in crochet. I hesitate to say that because I don't really know, but it was fine. It was totally fine doing this without a pattern and just like doing as many stitches as I needed to make it fit as I went. And I could kind of tell. It's easier to tell too because your garment that you're making isn't on a cable as you're working it. You do also do the thing like in knitting where you chain extra stitches for the underarms before picking up for the body and doing the rest. And I just kind of went as long as I needed to. I did it kind of cropped-ish for me. Like this is pretty short for my typical sweater style. This is not the dress I would be normally wearing under this thing. Normally I've been wearing it with some jeans. And I think this sweater looks the best in that style. And it kind of comes right to the top of my jeans, and then I wear a black camisole under it, and it's dope. I really like it. So the yarns that I used are all kinds of things. This top brown is Knit Picks Gloss DK. This is some single ply Moonstone Dyeworks in a pink. I think it might be FME pumps, held together with Moonstone Dyeworks Surrey Alpaca Lace Weight Blend. This is a hand spun. This is a hand spun. This is some like cashmere blend that I won many years ago and never actually used for anything. It was just like a 50-gram skein. More hand spun. This is the Fiber Co. Acadia, and that's the color, the yarn that I used in my sweater that I showed you in my last video as my finished object. This is Barocco Mochi, which is a yarn that I used in my Be Thankful cardigan, which is one of my very favorite cardigans that I have. And from there I kind of repeated most everything, and I kind of, as I got to the sleeves, which are longer than the body, just started like doing random other combinations of things. I brought in more lace weights to combine with some other fingering weights that I had. And I really like how it came out. I really like the color palette. It's kind of all over the place, but I feel like it kind of leans into the like fall color palette sort of thing. Yeah, I really like this. I definitely think it's a cool thing to do if you're interested in making a crochet sweater. The triple crochet is nice because it's a nice open mesh. It goes by really fast. It's really easy to wear, and it looks cool because it's like an open mesh. It's just a style I like. I also used a 6mm hook. Also, I'm really not good at weaving in ends on really open crochet. I like do not know the best way to do it because I have a lot of this business that happens, and I just kind of tuck it back in. Also, I should mention, I should show you the back. Let me show you the back. Okay, so there's the back. At the top, you can see that I didn't do much yarn management when it came to color changes on every round. And then by the bottom, I decided to start doing more of that. And so the bottom looks way neater than the top does. And I'm still not sure of the best way to change colors in crochet without just doing knots. Some of you very helpfully posted, it told me about some other videos to reference about changing colors, and those were super helpful. I watched them after I was done with this, but for next time, I think I'll maybe be better prepared. I don't know. We'll see. I really like changing colors in crochet, but yeah, weaving in ends is just, I feel like it's more of a thing in crochet. It's like not as easy for me as in knitting, with knitting, because I don't know, maybe it's, I don't know what it is. But changing colors and having ends is more of a big deal in this. So anyway, that's it. I love it. I think it's great. I'm gonna take it off now because it's hot. Did I put it on inside out? No. I know what is inside out and what is not because of this thing here. This little like bulge of white fiber in this handspun is like right here. And so that's how I know it's not inside out. Okay, my next whip is in this really, really great bag that a viewer made me a long time ago, back in like the early days of the Squirrel Pie Productions era of my channel. And it says, find me in 746.43. And that is the section of the library where they have knitting books. I love this bag so freaking much. So my next project is another old one that I brought out of hibernation. It's the Musselburgh hat by Isolde Teague. And this is my first one I've ever made. And here it is. Cool hat, right? So as you may know, as you probably know, this hat is knit from end to end, I guess. You cast on as if it was a top-down hat. And you do your increases until you get it to the width that you want, and then you just knit a giant tube that's going to be double the length of your hat that you end up with. And then at the other end, you close it back up. You do decreases as if you were doing a bottom-up hat, and then close it off at the end. And then you fold it in on itself, and it's a double layer hat. Cool, pretty cool. So I'm knitting this in some handspun. I really, really am excited about my handspun right now. This, I believe, is Cloud Lover, which is a fiber dyer that is no longer in business. But I was a member of her club a really long time ago, and this was the like holiday club shipment, and it came with this card that I still have, and it's what I wrote the information on the inside. It's the December 2014 Fiber Club of Cloud Lover, and it's called Spice Cake is the colorway, and it's 75% organic Polworth and 25% silk. I love this handspun. I've been kind of saving it for I spun it a long time ago, like a really long time ago. It's probably in one of my old episodes. But yeah, I decided it'd be a cool Musselburgh hat. It's kind of like a sport weight. I would say it's a fingering to a sport weight. I don't know the yardage. I don't have it written down. But the thing about this pattern is that it's a recipe that can be used with any weight of yarn and any gauge for your knitting. So I'm hoping it's not too big. It feels really wide to me for a hat, like freaking, right? Like, I don't know, that feels really wide to me. And I think that was my hang up on finishing it when you last saw it. Somebody in the comments mentioned in that episode that it feels bigger. It feels like it's going to be too big, but it's most likely not going to be too big because when it's doubled up, like a lot of that width is like on the inside. You know how that works with like fitting and stuff when it's thicker. It's anyway. But so I took it off the needles at one point and folded it inside out and tried it on, and it does feel a little loose, but I don't think it's going to be too big. So I'm hoping that that's correct because I want it. Also, though, I wouldn't be completely heartbroken if I finished it and it was just way too big and I had to rip it all out and reknit this yarn into something else. That would be fine too. But I'm hoping for the first thing. I'm not hoping for the second thing. So I'm doing this like fingering / sport weight, really nice drapey yarn on a US size 4 needle, a 3.5 millimeter. And I've got a marker in what I think will probably be the halfway point. Well, I'm aiming for this to be the halfway point. This is a little bee. I bought some yarn from Beehive Yarns, like when she first opened shop a million years ago. And sorry, she's not that old. I'm that old, she's not that old. And this bee stitch marker came with it. So anyway, that's the halfway point. I'm almost there, and I really, really like how it's working up. I love hand spun. I like for real love working with hand spun. It's so cool. Bye. Can you close the door, please?
No.
Yeah. You can close it most. Okay, thank you. Okay, Musselburgh hat. It's really fun to work on. I just really like working with hand spun. It's nice. It feels good. Okay, my next project is another crochet project, but I think I might rip it out. So this one is from a pattern that's in a blog on the internet, and it's called the Endless Eyelets Cardi on the Mama in a Stitch blog, and I'll link to it below if you're interested. But it's pretty much a granny stripe cardigan. Here's what I have so far. And it's a granny stripe, like drop shoulder seamed cardigan. It's meant to be very long, but I'd probably make it shorter. And that's it. That's what it is. It's pretty simple. The construction's very simple. You make a rectangle back, 2 rectangle fronts, and rectangle sleeves, and you sew it all together, which I'm not afraid of at all. I'm really not. No, I'm not. I used to really dislike seaming, but in crochet somehow it doesn't feel like a big deal. I don't know. Things like that, like preferences and how they differ in crochet and knitting is really funny, and something I'm starting to notice the more I crochet. But anyway, I really want to make this cardigan. Here's kind of what's going on so far. So the brown, if you can even tell that's brown, it's like a dark chocolate brown. The maroon and the orange are all Knit Picks Cotton DK, and it's a cotton linen blend. I really like this yarn. I like it a lot, but I only had kind of scraps of it. And so I just kind of threw together some other DK weight yarns. Actually, this one's sport. This is Quince & Co. Chickadee, and the yellow and the teal are also both the Cotton. And I kind of pulled, so this is some more Chickadee, and like here is some Moonstone Dyeworks DK in the Moon Age Daydream colorway. And I just kind of have like some more scraps of stuff. This is the Cotton. This is more Chickadee. And I think, oh, I'm using a 6mm crochet hook. This is my tulip hook. It's my favorite hook. So I kind of went into this project just like willy-nilly, like as a scrap, like I'm just gonna see what happens and see how it goes with what I have. I don't think I'm loving how the color blocking is turning out because I just don't have that much, I don't have enough to really do like a more intentional or at least a good looking scrappy color blocking. And this is just the back piece, so I also have to make sure I'd save enough yarn for the front pieces and maybe the sleeves if I wanted to kind of match, or I don't know. I kind of just, I think, don't like how the color blocking is coming out, but I also don't love, I thought I'd be fine with it, but I don't think I'm gonna love it in the finished project, how the cotton linen feels with the wool, I don't think it's gonna like flow that nicely. And what I ended up realizing is that most of the yarn I have for this is either the chickadee, which is all this, and the Kotlin, which is this. And so I figured if I'm gonna combine these, I should do it more intentionally. I have 3 skeins of this. And so like maybe I would do this as like kind of a background color, and then everything else would be stripes within that, rather than this kind of color blocking. I think that would look better. And I think it might intersperse the 2 different fibers together throughout the thing more. I don't know. But I'm at a standstill with it. It's not that big of a deal, I feel like, with crochet. I kind of feel like I've worked on this much of the back, but I don't really care to like that I have to like maybe redo it. It's just another difference between knitting and crochet for me. So I don't know. I also kind of just wish I had a bunch more Kotlin. I think I've been checking Knit Picks lately. I think I've been waiting for Kotlin to go on sale, because if it goes on sale, I might just buy more of it to make the whole thing out of this, because I think that would be kind of cool, and I really like these colors. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. It's just been sitting like this for a little while. I have this really great Forest Charm Progress Keeper on here from Maria. And yeah, we'll see what happens with that. The pattern on the blog calls for, I think, Lion Brand Mandala, which is like a cool color changing yarn, and I think it looks really neat in like that color blocking style, but it just isn't working out with these yarns for that. So we'll see what I come up with. Maybe stripes, maybe fun stripes. Next, I cast on a new project that I actually bought yarn for, which hasn't happened in a very long time. I am knitting the Bifurca Vest by Teddy Lutzak. The yarn that I'm using is the yarn that the pattern calls for, and I just don't know. I was like super tempted to just make it in the yarn that she called for and that she knitted the sample in. And so it's BC Garn Samilla Pura, 100% organic wool. And that is the main color. I got 2 skeins of this for the body. It's color number 2. And for the contrast, I got this. And it's the same yarn, just in like their dyed line, which comes in 50-gram skeins. And that is, don't know what it is. Don't have the tag apparently. But here's the bag that it's living in. This is my bag that Lost and Fond sent me. I don't think she's Lost and Fond anymore. Lindsay, though. You made this for me, and thank you. I love it. Yeah, so these are the yarns. It's really nice. It's a DK weight yarn, and it's just super nice woolen spun yarn, and I love it. This is what it looks like so far. It's kind of a crazy construction. There's a lot of stitches on my needle, and it's a vest. It's a colorwork vest, and it's got a deep V in the front, the same deep V in the back. It's like the same on both sides. And then it's got like a little ribbing section for the waist, and I think ribbing around the sleeves too, but it's a vest, so it's like sleeveless, and it's really cool. It's got the colorwork that you do like this. You go so you're knitting it from the V outwards and doing the color work, and then you pick up for the sides and the bottom, and you do ribbing down, and then you close up the armholes with ribbing or something. I don't know. It's like a really interesting construction, and it's a really cool looking vest. And I'm at the kind of wee beginning stages of the color work here. There are a lot of sections of this. There are lots of stitches on the needles, and it's essentially gonna, so here's either the front or the back, and this is kind of like the point at the bottom of the V, and that's what I'm doing. And so I have a whole color work panel to do, and I'll do all the other stuff. So it's a little fiddly. There's having like this long of a round of different color work sections of a chart. It's just you just have to pay a lot of attention, you know. So it's one of these projects that I have to like sit here and stare at it the entire time as I'm doing it. But it's awesome, and I can't wait to have the finished thing. Lots of stitch markers in this baby. I'm using a something needle size. It's a size. A 3mm needle, which is a US 2.5. And these are my Haya interchangeables. And I actually had to buy these tips because I have the interchangeable set for the Hayas, and they did not come with a 3mm. I don't think it's a typical or a common size in the US. So luckily I could buy them just by themselves because that's what the pattern called for, and I got gauge with them. So I'm happy that I have them. That's what I am using are some new needles for my new yarn. So that's it. That is all of my knitting and my crochet to share that I have to share with you. Yes, River. Yes. Sure. Come here. Okay, bring me Chase. Yeah, bring the other one too. Roller skates for Build-A-Bear. Do you need help? Oh, yeah. Okay, I got it. Okay, his guitar too. River has this Build-A-Bear Chase dog. And with it, there are roller skates and a guitar. So let's get him dressed, okay? I'm almost done with this, okay, bud?
Why don't you put that right there with other?
Because I thought it would look cool in the background of my video. You want to say hi real quick?
Yeah.
Oh, it's up here. You want to say hi?
Hi.
Okay.
When did they say hi to?
The people who watch this video, I'm just recording on my camera right now, but then I'm going to put it on the internet. Okay. He's all set with his roller skates and his guitar. Now, take him back to your room, please. Okay, let's move on to favorites. I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the music I've been listening to lately. Pardon the toy noise in the background. But yeah, I've been kind of really into these three new to me musicians. And the first is The Last Dinner Party. The Last Dinner Party is like a British indie rock pop all girl band. I would say their vibe is a bit like rebellious Catholic schoolgirl. Very like rock and roll, very cool. I like them a lot. And then Chapel Roan is somebody who I've discovered recently. The YouTube algorithm kept trying to get me to watch Chapel Roan's Tiny Desk concert, which is really good. And I finally watched it, and I finally fell in love with her and her latest album, which is called The Rise and Fall of a Midwest Princess. Her music is very pop. She's pop. She's a pop artist, and she's freaking great. The song that I really fell in love with is Red Wine Supernova, which is, I think, one of the singles, and it's got a great video that I will link to below. But I like the whole album. It's great. There's a lot of like kind of really poppy kind of bangers, you know, kind of like club dancey songs. And then there's like a few like piano ballady kind of songs. I don't like love every single song on the album. There are some that I kind of don't love as much as others, but the real bangers on that album are like real bangers, and they're just really freaking good. Her songs are also really fun to play. I play the ukulele just like like not seriously, just to like kind of accompany myself to sing songs that I like, because I really like just like singing songs. And I've learned a couple of her songs from that album, and they're really fun to play. And then I've also been really into Olivia Rodrigo, who's like a singer-songwriter kind of musician. She also has a Tiny Desk concert, which is really, really good. She also like has like a mostly girl band, which is just cool. And so the Chapel Roan too. I think her band is mostly women. These are like just like all women led pop rock and roll kind of stuff, and I just really like it. Anyway, so Olivia Rodrigo had an album called Sour that I found on Spotify a while ago, and I really liked the cover of that album. I thought it was really cool. And the first song on that album, called Brutal, is like a favorite of mine. I love that song, and I've loved it for a while. The rest of the album, though, goes very like singer-songwriter-y, kind of mellow vibe, and I didn't love it. Like, I like the Brutal's a very kind of like intense, like angsty song. I really liked it, but the rest was a little like just more mellow and softer, and I never really got into that album except for that one song. And I decided to try out, well, I saw her Tiny Desk concert. I got roped in, and I watched it, and I fell in love with it. And so I listened to her newer album, which is called Guts, and I love the whole thing. Like, there's a couple songs on it that are a little like not as much, that I don't love as much as some of the bangers on that one too, but it's just a really good album. It's so I've got like the first one is like an indie rock, and then the second one's like a pop star kind of album, and then this one's more like singer-songwriter-y, acoustic-y kind of thing. But it's what I love about all of these bands, and it's something that I just love in general, is that they're all pretty explicit. There's cursing, there's sex, there's sexuality, there's exploration into things that like aren't, you know, I don't know, family friendly or PG, and I just really like that kind of adult content. This second album of hers is great because it also has this very like pretty soft style to a lot of the songs, but it's also, there's a lot of angst running through it, and I enjoy that. I enjoy angst in music sometimes. Not in all my music, but I like it. I like girl angst a lot. I like queer angst a lot. I like angst. Okay, so that's it. Those are three musicians that I really like lately. Like I said, I will link to some of my favorite videos down below if you want to check them out, which you maybe should. I don't know if you want to. Also, just super duper quick, I'm reading this book right now. It's called The Angel of Indian Lake by Stephen Graham Jones. It's the third in the Lake Witch trilogy. Stephen Graham Jones is an author that I really love. He's Blackfeet Native American, and the protagonist in this book is also Blackfeet Native American. It's a slasher. It's a horror novel that references its own genre a lot, and I love it. It's just really good and fun and great, and I love it. And I'm almost done with it. Yeah, so that's it. He's got another book coming out, I think in the summer, called I Was a Teenage Slasher. I'm also, okay, real quick. I've done music and now a book, now I have to do a movie. I recently watched Lisa Frankenstein, which is a movie that came out in February. It was written by Diablo Cody, who I never really knew about before this movie. I had seen Juno, which was her first movie that she wrote, but she also wrote some other movies that I now really want to watch. But Lisa Frankenstein is my new favorite movie of all time. It's like a kind of so fast, yeah. It's a Frankenstein-esque movie, but it's about teenage angst and feminism, and it's so good. I love it. The aesthetic, the story, the social commentary on what it's like to be a woman and what it's like to be a young girl. I just loved everything about it. It's a beautiful movie, and it's, I don't know, I'm getting more and more into horror these days. and spooky stuff. But you kind of knew that. Okay, should we say goodbye?
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Do we say goodbye to ourselves?
We did say goodbye to ourselves. Okay, I will see you next time. Check out my links below to things like Ravelry and Instagram and Ko-Fi and Patreon and stuff like that if you're interested. And I'll see you next time. Because there'll be a next time because I'm back at it.